So we have revered Swami Bodhasarananda Maharaji with us. Swamiji is the Assistant General Secretary of Ramakrishna Math and Mission in Belur, India. And he is serving in the headquarters for the last 10 years. He has spent 36 years serving in Advaita Ashrama, India, a great publishing house of Ramakrishna and Vedanta literature. He has written stories from the Bhagavatam in English, which has been translated into many languages, including Tamil. He has compiled and edited Vivekananda, the great spiritual teacher. He has traveled around the world and has given talks on various topics. Swamiji visited and was physically present during the inauguration of this center, and he's been virtually with us in last year's celebration as well. And we believe that he has got a special love and interest in our center. On behalf of the Swamijis and all the devotees, I humbly request the revered Swamiji to give his benedictory address. Swamiji, over to you.
Welcome and greetings to you all from Belur Math, the heart of Ramakrishna movement. Let me start with an invocation. Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharini. Dear Mr. Howard Mahoney, the new mayor of Hingal County Council, Reverend Father Swami Purnanandaji Maharaj, Swami Shanti Pratanandaji Maharaj, their children, devotees, and admirers. I'm happy to speak to you while you are celebrating the 4th anniversary of Éire Vedanta Society. Margaret Elizabeth Noble, popularly known as Sister Nivedita, was born in the picturesque town of Dungannon in Northern Ireland. I had the fortune to visit Dungannon about 4 years ago. Today, a commemorative plaque adorns Scotch Street, but the exact location of house number 23 mentioned in her birth certificate is no longer known. We should make an effort to locate the exact place of her birth. The eventful life of Sister Nivedita spanned only 44 years, that is from 1867 to 1911. In this short time, she swept across Ireland, England, India, continental Europe, and America. The driving force of her life was a totally unselfish love. Her keen intellect allowed her to gain considerable knowledge of almost all subjects concerning the physical world and helped shape her into a world mover. When she came in contact with Swami Vivekananda, she developed the insight to penetrate within herself and discover spiritual truths. This inspired her to dedicate her life to the service of India. Of all the foreigners who loved India, Sister Nivedita stands foremost. Her life was one long dedication to the cause of India, and today her name is synonym with love and selfless service to India. The starting of Éire Vedanta Center on the occasion of her 150th birth anniversary was a tribute to her extraordinary life. The time has come when Ireland should give birth to more Niveditas endowed with great love for India and Swami Vivekananda's ideals. The earth's bravest and best will have to sacrifice themselves for the good of many, for the welfare of all. Buddhas by hundreds are necessary. With eternal love and pity, wrote Swami Vivekananda in a letter dated 7th June 1896. Nivedita was deeply moved by his words. In time, through tireless service and adherence to Vivekananda's ideals, Nivedita won the hearts of those around her. The monastic community created by Vivekananda embraced her as its own. Knowingly or unknowingly, the world has been under the influence of some great personalities, be it Christ, Buddha, or Vivekananda. A plethora of such magnificent minds have showered us with their wisdom as well as achieved some extraordinary goals which are revered to this day. It is for this reason that the distinguished Australian Indologist, Professor A.L. Basham, stated that Swami Vivekananda will be remembered as one of the main molders of the modern world in centuries to come. When we think of the main molders of the modern world, it is the names of Darwin, Karl Marx, Einstein, Freud, and others that generally come to mind. As regards Vivekananda, it is both his powerful personality and message that are well known. The great contributions Swamiji has made to world thought and world culture are not widely understood. By Swamiji's contributions, we mean the ideas, insights, knowledge, and values that Swamiji added to the sum total of knowledge which humanity has acquired during the last 3 or 4 millennia. The ideas which Swami Vivekananda contributed are not like the ideas contributed by Darwin, Marx, and others. Swamiji derived his ideas from a much higher transcendental source. He said, I have a message to the West as Buddha has a message to the East. Actually, Swamiji had a message to the world as well, to the East. This universal message, Swamiji derived through his higher intuition and also indirectly through Sri Ramakrishna, his master. Now, let me tell you the main characteristics of Swamiji's ideas, which attracted Nivedita and is inspiring us even today. I will elaborate only 4 unique features that characterize Swamiji's message. They are: first, power of his words; second, originality; third is universality; and fourth, practicality. Now let us take up the first one, that is power or appeal of Swamiji's words. Swamiji's words are charged with spiritual power. He says, I just quote some quotations, like strength is life and weakness is death. Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Strength is the medicine of world's disease. What I want are muscles of iron and nerves of steel, inside which dwells a mind which is like the thunderbolt. All power is within you. You can do anything and everything. And then again he says, he is an atheist who does not believe in himself. And in another place, I remember he says, go to hell to buy salvation for others. So these are some of the quotations of Swami Vivekananda. When you hear such electrifying words, you cannot just remain unmoved. Swamiji's words come like bombshells and shafts of light. They awaken, inspire, and transform your mind. With the exception of the epistles of St. Paul, We do not come across such powerful expressions in world literature, exhorting people to be good, to see God, to serve one's fellow men. The power of Swamiji's words is derived not from oratorical language or emotional appeal, but from the core of his inner life, from the depths of his experience. Swamiji poured out his soul through his words. We can hear the voice of God ringing in his words. When you are overcome with laziness or you are in low spirits, just look at the eyes of Swami Vivekananda. They are emitting fire. All weakness will simply fly away from you. Then the second feature of Swami Vivekananda's message is his originality. In Buddha's life, we find that he had the firm conviction that his teaching was something new and original. In the Tripitakas, we find Buddha's repeated assertion, this truth had hitherto been not known. Swami Vivekananda too had the firm conviction that he had something new and original to teach. But because Swamiji used the conceptual framework of Vedanta to give expression to his spiritual experiences and intuitive convictions or beliefs, many people think that Swamiji only spread traditional Vedanta in the modern language and did not add anything new to it. This is not true. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, and other acharyas who came before Swamiji also used the same Vedantic framework. And each acharya gave a new original exposition of Vedanta philosophy. The acharyas had the courage to be original. Swami Vivekananda also had the courage and authority to be original. Basing himself on the life and message of Sri Ramakrishna, Swamiji gave a new turn and meaning to the concepts of traditional Vedanta, such as Brahman, Ishvara, Jiva, Maya, Karma, Yoga, Mukti, etc. It may not be an exaggeration to state that Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda have virtually redrawn the map of Vedantic Hinduism. It is not widely known that what is called Hinduism in modern times, especially in the West, has been reshaped by Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. Then comes third point, third specialty of Swamiji's message. That is another distinctive feature of Swami Vivekananda's message is universality. Just as Buddha's message is meant for all people, Swamiji's message too, barring some extortions, which are specifically meant for Indians, is meant for all people without any distinction of caste, creed, or race. The primary concern and focus of Swamiji's teachings is the common man, whoever or wherever he may be. As regards Swamiji's use of Vedantic concepts, 2 points are to be noted. Before Swamiji came, each traditional acharya claimed his own exposition of Vedanta or his school of Vedanta to be the only correct one. But Swamiji, following his master Sri Ramakrishna, accepts the validity of the different expositions of Vedanta given by the acharyas. As explained by Swamiji, the rationale behind this acceptance is this: even though the ultimate reality is only one, human consciousness has different levels. Each acharya has described the ultimate reality according to the experience he has had at a particular level of consciousness, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita, etc., are only different experiential dimensions of Vedanta. The second point to note is that the traditional acharyas restricted the significance of Vedantic concepts to Hinduism. But Swamiji showed the universal significance of Vedantic concepts such as Brahman, Ishvara, Jivatman, Yoga, Samadhi, and Mukti. He showed that these universal principles constitute the basis of all religions. Although they may not be known by such names, this was what Swamiji meant when he stated, all of religion is contained in the Vedanta, and Vedanta is a rationale of all religions. This broad, all-inclusive view of Vedanta may be called universal Vedanta. Swamiji called it universal religion. Then we come to the fourth point. Yet another important characteristic of Swami Vivekananda's message is its emphasis on practicality. The chief aim of traditional Vedanta is the attainment of mukti or liberation from the samsara. Swamiji, however, asked himself, if Vedanta can help people to attain mukti, can it not help people in dealing with the problems of secular life? Swamiji himself found the answer. Yes, it can. The eternal universal truths and principles of Vedanta, if applied properly in day-to-day life, can enable people to face, solve, or transcend the socio-economic, psychological, or existential problems of life. Swamiji called the application of Vedantic truths and principles in ordinary life practical Vedanta. According to Swamiji, practical Vedanta enables a fisherman to become a better fisherman, a student to become a better student, a lawyer to become a better lawyer, and a businessman to become a better businessman. In this connection, it may be pointed out that in modern times, Swami Vivekananda was one of the earliest thinkers to advocate that a system of philosophy should have a practical bearing on social life. The goal of universal Vedanta is liberation from earthly bondage, whereas the goal of practical Vedanta is welfare of the world. Swamiji combined these two goals into twofold idea, Atmano Mokshartham, Jagat Hitaya cha, for one's own emancipation and for the good of others. He gave it to the Ramakrishna Mission as the motto of the 12 twin institutions. This motto can, however, serve as a universal idea for all people all over the world. Universal Vedanta and practical Vedanta together serve as the metaphysical foundation for all the main teachings of Swami Vivekananda and for all his major contributions to the world thought. In brief, religion has a twofold function: to transform human personalities and to transform human relationships. This can be regarded as its eternal role. Its operation varies, of course, under the changing conditions of human history. Religion is more concerned with man's inner nature than with his external affairs. It adheres to the simple truth that there cannot be a better world without better men and women. It makes man aware of his real self, ever pure, free, immortal, and divine. This arouses in him self-faith, which is the key to inner unfoldment. The animal man turns into God man. Man's growing consciousness of his inner potentialities in the present age makes him particularly receptive and impure, strong or weak, wise or unwise. Though he may appear to be, the same divine principle shines within man as his innermost self. Consequently, the aspirant's heart is filled with due regard for all. He deals with each and every individual with proper esteem. He even tries to see God as the indwelling spirit in all and to worship him by serving man. Thus, by teaching man to see God in himself and to see God in others, religion transforms human personality, improves interpersonal relationships, and paves the way to universal love. Let the divine and help others to be divine. Be and make. Let this be your motto, wrote Swami Vivekananda. These teachings bring us close to the religion and philosophy of Vivekananda. I repeat, the special need of Vivekananda in the present age is due to his universality, rationality, originality, and practicality. In the end, let me tell you that we are celebrating the 125th anniversary of Ramakrishna Mission this year. You should also celebrate it in a befitting manner. We have to strive for our own liberation and at the same time help men and women discover their innate divinity and manifest it in every moment of life. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. We will definitely remember the specialness or the uniqueness of Swami Vivekananda's message, which is power, originality, universality, and the practicality. Thank you so much for reiterating how blessed we are to have Nivedita House here and have access to this Vedanta, which is very practical for all of us, and two Swamijis who are simplifying these messages and giving us, and we are so blessed to have this here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so we have the Gita chanting competition next, and I'll request Swami Shanti Vridananda ji to explain the rules. And we have a lot of children here, and they've been wonderful listening to the talk. So I'm gonna give it to Swamiji and ask him to explain the rules, and we will have the competition done.
Okay. So I think Mayor is here.
Mayor is here. Okay, small change in the program then. Okay, give us a moment. We have the Honorable Mayor of Fingal County with us here, so we're just going to receive him, and then we will continue with the programs.
Is anybody here?
So we have with us the Honorable Mayor of Fingal, Councillor Howard Mahoney. Mayor Mahoney has been a volunteer and a social activist for more than 32 years.
Yes.
Worked in Garda services as a detective and has been the councillor for the past 6 years. And he's been elected as the mayor of Fingal County just yesterday. And we congratulate him. And I'm sure the community and the county is going to benefit a lot from your leadership, sir.
I hope.
We are delighted and honored that this event is probably one of the first one that you're attending after swanning in. So we are honored, and I'm requesting Swami Purnananda ji to welcome with a bouquet.
Yeah.
Very much.
Would you mind sharing a few words with us?
Yeah. Look, I got very little background, but I did read. And I've had very little time to do any backgrounds anyway. Look, I'm really honoured to be here, and this is my first engagement with Dublin 15. You see, I represent Dublin 15. So I'm absolutely totally chuffed to be in my own patch, so to speak. I was over in Central Stadium this morning presenting prizes to the Dublin 50 Games, and it's great to be home, and it's great to be out here. It's great to be mayor from here because we don't get them that often. Dublin 15 mayor, they generally come from the North County because of the way the numbers are. So it's genuinely great to be here. I read a little bit, and I must say, by the way, happy 4th anniversary. I know a little bit about contemplative life. My uncle was a Cistercian monk, and he never left the monastery, but I used to stay there a lot. So I fully appreciate, thoughtfulness and prayer, and I must say, like at difficult times in my life, I found great solace in that particular way. He was over in Colley Island off the coast of Wales. He just died a few months ago, actually. So I have to say, I do get it. I know, and I think that what you're doing here is absolutely wonderful. I just said it earlier on there, that I didn't realize the centre was here. And I don't know why you don't publicise more, quite frankly, because I think it is absolutely wonderful, and I'm delighted, just delighted to be here, and I wish you every success.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and we are delighted to have you here as well. So next we'll move on to the Gita recital competition, and I'll request Swami Shankaradananda ji to explain the rules.
Good day, young students. This is your day. You're all waiting for when the competition will come. I'm ready to participate in the competition or in the exam or whatever you feel. Is it? Yeah. So there were a quite number of students, though we didn't expect so many. I was expecting when I started thought of Gita chanting competition in Ireland, probably maybe 5 or 10 or whatever. But it went for 30, but for some other reason, again, we have got 23 students today. So 23 students, there is a competition, but we wanted to reduce the competition level. So we have split into 2 groups among you, juniors and seniors. So juniors will be singing here only, will be chanting here only, and the seniors will move to the temple where chapel is there. There 2 judges will be there. They will be judging your recitation. And the judgment will be given based on 3 things. One is your memory, how rightfully you will chant. The other is spelling mistakes or pronunciation, grammar. Second is, the third is confidence level. All confidence without smiling, laughing, you should chant, isn't it? Not with a morose face. So it is a confidence. So each gets 10 marks each and 30 marks. So juniors will be like this. 10 students in the juniors. The name I will be reading out. Adya Bharadwaj, Omkaram Charitnandan, Datta Pavan, Sharanya Kulakarni, Pranav, Adya Singh, Tara Ghalot, Freya Makveer, Advaita Parida, Shreyas. So these are the juniors, 10 students. They will be here. And the rest, Konar Grorke, Evi, Emma Ajwani, Janisha, Aditya Vasant, Emma one more, Arav, Neha, Chandrahas, Rohan, Vishwa, one more Emma Buzalan, and Kara Griffin. So these will come under senior groups. I request them to move to the temple. After finishing competition, again will come and we'll have a wonderful quiz competition, singing, merrymaking on that.
So give them a big cheer now.
So Vardhini will be looking after calling the name one after another of junior, and Sharanya will be looking after the senior group in the temple, calling one by one names.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः अर्जुन विषादयोगः। धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुयुत्सवः मामकाः पाण्डवाश्चैव न कुर्वत सञ्जय। सञ्जय उवाच दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानेकं युद्धं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसङ्गम्य चावचनमब्रवीत् पश्येतां पाण्डुपुत्राणां चार्यमहतीं च मूं यूढां द्रुपदपुत्रेण वशिष्येण धीमता अत्र शूरा महेश्वासः मार्जुनसमायुधे युधानो विराटश्च पदश्च महारथः दृष्टकेतुश्चेकितानः शिराजश्च वीर्यवान् पुरुजित् कुन्तिभोजश्च यश्च नरपुङ्गवः। Thank you.
Thank you, Adya.
Very well.
Quite brave to open it up. Thank you. Okay. So the next one is Omkaram Charitanandan. Do we have him here? No? No? Okay. So Datta Pavan. Okay, you're next. All the best.
Hello. बोलो बोलो।
अर्जुन उवाच
अच्छा अच्छा
Sorry, may I
ठीक है,
request
ठीक है।
everybody on the line to
ठीक
go on mute, please?
ठीक আছে ঠিক আচ্ছা আমাদের এটা আয়ারল্যান্ডে লেকচার ছিল ডাবলিন এটা এখন জাস্ট এই মতো শেষ হলো
Yeah,
ঠিক আছে
I'll do.
ঠিক আছে Thank you.
Okay, sorry about it.
अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां परिपासते ते चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां युक्तास्ते एताक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं परिभासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च भूतस्थमचलं ध्रुवं तन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतानि ते रताः तेषु जगतस्तेषाम् अव्यक्ता सप्तते सुखाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते।
So next we have Sharanya Kulkarni.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः भक्तियोगः। अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेताः ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरानिर्देशाम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थं अचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियमेन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः एतां वन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रतः क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अभुक्ता सप्तचेतसा अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखम् Thank you.
Good job. So next we have Pranav. Pranav, are you ready? Yeah.
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः अथ चतुर्थोऽध्यायः ज्ञानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगः श्रीभगवानुवाच इमं विवस्वते योगं कृतवानहमव्ययं विवस्वान्मनवे प्राह अनुरिक्ष्वाकवे ब्रवीत् एवं परम्परा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकालेन हमहता योगो नष्टः परन्तप स एवयं मया तेद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम् अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथमेतद्विजानीयाम् समादौ प्रोक्तवानिति बहूनि मे व्यतीतानि जन्मानि तव चार्जुन तन्यहां वेद सर्वाणि त्वं वेद परं तप
So next we have Adhya Singh. Are you ready?
Namaste, Mama Namadya. Today I'm going to be reciting the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 26 to 30. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayakshati taraham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanah yat karoshi yadashnasi yajuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam shubha Shubha Palaidevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanai Samyasa Yoga Yuktatma Mukto Mamupaishasi Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Tveshu Stina Priya Nirvajanti Tumam Bhaktya Mai Teshu Chakyaham Api Chet Suduracharo Bhajate Mamananyabhat Sadureva Samantavyah Samyak Navasito Isaha
Thank you, Adhya. So next we have Tara.
Surinam, Mama Nama Tara. I will be reciting the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 26 up to 30. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktuparitam ashnami prayatatmanaham yat kadoshi yadasnasi yajuhoshi dadasyat yat tapasyasi kunteya tat puroshva madarpanam Shubha Shubha Palaivevam Mokshase Kama Bandhanahi Samyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishasi Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Dveshostina Priyaha Ye Bhajanti Tumam Bhaktya Mahite Teshu Chapyaham Api che suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhat sadhueva samantavyaha samyad vyavasito hi saha.
Thank you, Tara. That was wonderful. Next we have Freya. Are you ready? Yeah.
Surinam, Mama Nama Freya. I will be reciting Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verses 26 to 30. Patram pushpam phalam thoyam yo me bhaktya prayakshati tadaham bhaktyuparinam ashnami prayatmanah Yam karoshi yadashnasi yajuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam shubha shubha phalairevam mokshase karma bandhanai sanyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mamupaishasi Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyan api chet suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak satureva samanthavyaha samyak vyavasito yisaha Dhanyavadah.
So next we have Advaita.
Namo Namaha, Mama Nama Advaita. Today I'm going to be reciting Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, verses 12 to 16. Shreyo hi jnanam vyasa, jnanatyanam visheshrate, dhyanat karma phala tyagas, tyagat chanteranantaram, adveshta sarva bhutanam, maitraha karuna evacha, nirmamo nirahankara, samadhukka sukha kshami, santushtaha satatam yogi, yatatma dridhanishchayah mayyarpita mano buddhim yo madbhaktah same priyah yasmano dujate loko lokano dujate chayah harshamarshabhayo dvegir mukto yah sachame priyah अनपेक्षः सुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः धन्यवादः
Good job, Advaita. And we have the final one. It's going to be Shreyas.
एवं सततयुक्ताये भक्तत्वं पर्युपासते ये चाप्य अक्षरमव्युक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमा श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मा नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयुपेत ते मे युक्ततमा मतः ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देशम् अव्युक्तां पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रतः क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहभक्तिरवाप्यते.
Thank you. That was wonderful, children. So we have the other group recital going on in the shrine. So we'll just give them a few moments to come back and join us here in the hall. So we have Rayansh here, who's going to recite a hymn for us. Over to you, Rayan. Can you come a little closer so that everybody can hear you? Yeah?
Close to the
Close to this.
computer. Yeah.
You can still do
Yeah.
Bhumi Mangalam, Uttaka Mangalam, Agni Mangalam, Vayu Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam, Shiva Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Jagat Mangalam, Jiva Mangalam, Deha Mangalam, Mano Mangalam, Atma Mangalam, Sawa Mangalam, Bautu, 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 Sawa Mangalam, Bautu, Bautu, Bautu. Sawa Mangalam, Bautu, Bautu, Bautu.
So I think the floor is open for any kids who want to come and perform and entertain us. Any?
Adya, sing something. Sing some sloka. Yeah. Pranam?
Ready?
No.
Wait a minute, I have one more.
Oh yeah, please go ahead. No, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
It actually Asatoma, Satkamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Vekchoma, Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Oh,
Wait, let's do one more.
He's an inspiration to all of us.
Punardarshanaya, Punarharshanaya, Punarmasvideva, Kripavarsanaya, Punardarshanaya, Punarharshanaya, Punarmasvideva, Kripavarsanaya.
Any more? Come on.
come on. Pranam? Come on. No? Chocolate goes to Rama. She'll give you chocolate afterwards for you.
There are two more, I think.
Okay.
Five more.
There are two, yeah.
Two more.
Yeah, you see? Yeah. Go more, go.
You can keep entertaining us.
Adya, get ready. Some stotra.
Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu, Makashe Dukha Bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Om Jatavedase Sunavamaso Mamarati Yato Nidahati Vedaha Sanah Parshadati Durgani Vishwanave Vasindhunduritat Yagnihi Tam Agnivarnan Tapasa Jvalantim Vairochanim Karma Phaleshu Jushtam Durgan Devi Gum Sharanamaham Prapadye Sutarasitarase Namaha Agne Tvam Parayanavyo Asman Swasti Virati Durgani Vishwa Uscha Prithvi Bahulana Urvi Bhavato Kayatanaya Gashanyo Vishwanino Durgaha Jata Vedhas Sindhunna Nava Duritadi Parshi Agne Atrivan Manasa Grinano Osmakam Bodhyavita Tanunam ऋतनाजितगुं सहमानमुग्रमग्निगुं हुवेम परमात् सधस्तात् स नः पर्ष्यदति दुर्गाणि विश्वाक्षामद्देवो अतिदुरितात्यग्निः रत्नोशिखमीढ्यो अध्वरेषु सनाच्च होता नव्यस्य सत्सि स्वाञ्चाग्ने तनुवं विप्रयस्वास्मभ्यं च सौभगमाय च स्व गोभिर्जुष्टमयुजो निषिक्तन्तवेन्द्रविष्णोरनुसञ्चरेम नाकस्य पृष्ठमभि संवसानो वैष्णवीं लोकरिहमादयन्ताम् ॐ कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारि धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गिः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
Thank you as well for the wonderful recitation of Durga Supta. Any more?
Yeah.
Yeah? Go.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः.
You want to go?
You want to go?
You want to go? Yeah, go ahead.
मोर्यामि भारतानि तुझीच सेवा करू कायगानि अन्याय माझे कोट्यान कोटी मोरेश्वरा वातू घाल पोटी.
Any more? Is there? You know so many things. Balagokulam you learn? Go on. Yes, they have also finished. You want to confirm the meaning of Yes. Just come here to finish the compiling and I'll give a result list.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. So the other group is also done. So we are just assembling here.
You are coming here. Bit forward, bit forward.
Okay. So next we have Juma Majumdar, Jumadi as we call her, presenting an English hymn for us.
Thank you, Vardhani, and namaste to all. Namaste, Samu. Hello, everybody. And it's an English hymn. If you all know it, please join. I am sure many of you all know it. This is Count Your Many Blessings. Name them one by one. Okay, so come and join. Those things over here. When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. Are you ever burdened Count your many blessings, every doubt will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. When you look at others with their land and gold, think that Christ has promised you his wealth untold. Count your many blessings, money cannot buy your reward in heaven or your home on high. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. So amid the conflict, whether great or small, do not be discouraged, God is over all. Count your many blessings, angels will attend. Help and comfort with you to your journey's end. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Thank you all.
One more.
You're thinking.
Yes, children, you will sing some carols or songs. Yeah.
Come on, let's sing.
Come on, cheer up.
So the juniors have done their part, okay? Now the seniors have to come and
Yes.
do something.
Yeah, juniors and
Juniors
songs
have
here.
entertained us a lot.
Seniors should, yeah.
Challenge, come on.
Come on, English song.
Any song.
You know that song? Yeah, so do you know that song? We shall overcome. Do you know that song? We shall overcome.
Please come on, sing that.
Oh, sing a song that
Silent
you
March.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Silent March.
Somebody said yes.
Okay, come on. Come on up.
I don't know. Should I ask?
Yeah, ask.
What is this society called?
This society is called Éire Vedanta Society. Éire Vedanta. Ireland. Yeah. Yeah, please.
Okay, that's good.
That's the spirit.
Éire Vedanta Society. Yes, Vedanta Society.
Yeah, so you have to see everybody is here. Just line up. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Make a line. Yeah.
Move a little closer so that people in the Zoom can actually see you all. If you want to go, no, that side, to your right.
Maybe 2 rows, yeah?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Ready? Start.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Shanti, Pushti, Tushti, Rastate, Dipti, Siddhi, Samriddhi, Rastate. Shanti, Pushti, Tushti, Rastate, Riddhi,
So now we are putting the judges on the spot and asking them to do an impromptu talk about their impressions about how well the kids performed. I think you all gave a very difficult, challenging task to them. So requesting Kritika to come and open up the floor and say a few words. You could stand here,
Yeah, it was actually quite tough to judge these kids because they were too good actually.
And Dakshiji, if you have a few words for them.
Namaste, my salutations to God in you. Absolute a great pleasure to kind of listen to these wonderful kids. Very difficult task given to us. I didn't expect this level of confidence, this level of memory, and this level of grammar. They kind of came with so much of confidence, and I really congratulate you all. I think for me, everybody is a winner, and they all did an amazing job. So, guys, well done. Keep it up. Thank you. I just also want to thank and congratulate the entire team behind these wonderful kids who have spent hours and hours, days and months to bring to this level. And it's a great job, Vayam Rashtriya Jagran Purohita, to keep that heritage of that East nation alive is not easy. And I must take this opportunity to thank you all for whoever is involved in whatever capacity. Wonderful job, and thank you all for watching.
Let them come. They let their subs.
Actually, so we go on to that.
Yeah, probably explore this opportunity to thank Balagokulam students and the tutor, and also especially John's Carter School. A lot of students have come from John's Carter School. When I called actually Rutger to, I invited him to be a judge. He said, sorry Swamiji, because I'm going to India, I cannot come. And he suggested Michael, our friend Michael, to come here, and thank him also, all the judges. And also I would like to give a special thanks to John, in spite of his, COVID and other restrictions, but still he did a lot of good things. For the John's Carter School's entire team, I thank and congratulate. And I probably, I expect so many participations from the children of the John's Carter School, more in our events. And Michael, would you like to give your impression? How did you
few
feel
words
few words about the competition?
Yes.
Yeah, please, thank you. Next, Margarita. Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, please come, Michael.
Yes.
Fill this, both of you. Finally, and you have sign both of you.
So we've completed the marking,
Yeah.
and we have a first, second, and third, and we were both in agreement on the first, second, and third. The seventh was very good, and the marks were for the confidence, the memory, and the grammar.
Yeah.
And all the marks, as I was listening to them, and as you were listening to them, were all very high. Certainly the memory. I was listening to every syllable, and short and long, and sorry, and so on. And so they were all there in nearly all cases. And so all the marks were, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, 9.5, and so on. And so the final result. We can say,
Starting with junior starting with the research with the junior kids.
Yeah, now whether If everyone there, then we'll after quiz we'll announce. If they want to go home, then we'll announce. What children now you want? Or you want to see the performance of the adults where they'll have a quiz?
Now it seems. Now is the.
For Ramayana quiz? Would like to?
Yes, I would. Yes. I studied that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's the results. So, my dear students, definitely as already I said in my beginning of the competition itself, we never expected so many children will come, and we never expected such a wonderful performance. It is a really excellent. Everyone is a winner in that way, but everyone we cannot give, only 2 or 3 people we can give. As a result, only they are selected among the 2 groups, 3 each. So please others, don't feel bad, don't feel morose, and don't feel anything. Everyone should give the goodie bag. Clap yourself for everyone.
I think that Swamiji as a token of appreciation for their participation should give the goodie box. And
Yeah, later. We have certificates as well for
If you
everyone.
give them, they'll start eating it. Adults will have problems.
The certificates can be given, no?
Yeah, we have to write the names.
All right. So all the marks are very close, and the top 3 are very, very close guesses. All right. So third place is Éire Vedanta.
Stand up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well done, Éire. So third place. Very accurate and very beautiful. And then second place, Éire Vedanta. Very, very nice. And in first place, you the way they do it on television. Wait for 20 seconds.
Neha.
I think she had another program to attend, so she's
Okay.
Busy performer.
I think she got here because when she sounded, you know, there's that quality, the intonation, the accuracy, and everything. So it's very beautiful. And both of us.
And she made a marching with the second and the third. Like
Yes.
she was a clear winner.
Yes, yeah. So Neha, number 1. All right. Well done, working for all your good work.
Great. In the junior, I will call out for the third. First, it is Sharanya Kulkarni. Second position goes to Freya Makiwa. The first one, Tara. Amazing job. Thank you.
Yeah, now there is for adults there is a competition for Ramayana quiz because students, I mean children also they want to join.
They can join in our place.
Yes! You will take the
Okay.
I think the memento is
The judges, right?
yeah.
So,
Guys, I mean, yeah, we have got already 5 groups, but one group because of some sort of medical emergency, one group has dropped. 4 groups are there, 2 or 3 more groups we can take for Ramayana. If any children are ready, in the group you can come and you can register your names for Malavika. Okay?
with Malvika. Yeah.
With Malavika.
So
before
Swamiji,
that, I
that's a
will-
memento for the judges. So I request Swamiji to give the mementos for the judges.
Yes, my dear and my children, we will have a My dear students, hello. Just a minute. I will give the mementos for the judges on thanking on behalf of Éire Vedanta Society and you. And also we'll be giving the participation certificate for all of you now only. And prize winners, the medals and certificate now itself. Just hold on for 5 minutes. Okay?
Just be there.
Maybe Shrenik can take some photos. Yeah, we'll clap for the judges. Thank you, Shuji. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Malavika.
Swami, if you don't mind, can you just post with
Malavika.
no, Kritika.
Kritika. Oh.
I missed her.
May he who is the Brahman of the Hindus, the Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, Buddha of the Buddhists, Jehovah of the Jews, the Father in heaven of the Christians, give strength to us to carry out our noble ideas. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Shantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashantu Ma Kashit Dukhabhag Bhavet. May all be prosperous and happy. May all be free from illness. May all achieve perfection in this life. May none suffer from miseries in this world. May divine strength pilot us, divine power uphold us, divine wisdom guide us, and the wisdom of God guide us. The divine is with me, before me, behind me, in me, beneath me, above me, on my right, on my left. When I lie down, when I sit, when I stand, the divine presence is in the heart of all. The first prayer is Swami Vivekananda's quotation on the unity of religions and the ideals of religions. And then it is good for us to wish all beings prosperity and happiness. And then the last prayer is an adaptation of the breastplate of St. Patrick, adapted for our use. So in the spirit of the quiz, 2 questions are there. I suppose 3 questions, but the third question is delicate. We'll ask the third question first. How many people attend the Saturday morning Ramayana classes? Hands up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. 4. 3? 4. 90% of the answers are in those series. So, all good. The other questions are, what was the population of Ayodhya? Whatever you answer, my next question is tougher. What are their names and addresses? 4 years ago, almost anyway, 4 years ago, we were busy preparing for our inauguration here. At the very last moment, Malloy here and others were hanging the ceiling in the, what is now the library. No, we're here, actually, here, you know, with cloth. And we were busy painting the railings. In fact, if any of the guests had touched the railings, they would have had a nice coat of green on their hands and arms. And we were in a rush to do it. We started the building, or we started the reconstruction of this building, literally on 5th of February, 2018. And if it wasn't for the help of sincere devotees and volunteers, and I'm not afraid to name them, but Brian is here, and many, many others, of course, who just volunteered, naturally conforming to all the health and safety regulations. I'm winking at this point. But we managed to deliver a reasonable place for opening in a mere 4.5 months. 10 days of that was during a snowstorm, and we couldn't move anywhere. But hard work, now that's really dedication. And so what we have here today is a suitable premises for practicing the principles of Vedanta and realizing the objectives that we have as a Vedanta society. Firstly, to disseminate and propagate the universal message of Vedanta. And secondly, to spread the life, message and teachings of Sister Nivedita. Thirdly, to uplift the humanity wherever we find it, particularly in this area, and to provide community with community services as best we can. And so these are 3 of our main objectives here. The 4th one is, in the spirit of Vedanta, to spread the universal message through dialogue and good relations with many different religions and faiths. So I remember making friends here, and the first port of call, one of the first ports of call, while I think of it, was next door, Bernie's place. And because I was up to here with paint and mud and dust, she thought I was a workman, which I was. And when we had our first event, if you all remember, in February, it was colder inside than it was outside. And anyway, we all went upstairs for refreshments. It was Taco's birthday, and the floor was still wet. And she, to this day, recalls the hilarious episode of seeing me dressed in the Garua cloth and saying to her friend, "Oh my goodness, you know, he's the man, he's the person here, you know. We thought he was just a workman." And I was delighted with the title because that's all I am. You see, anything beyond that is false. I'm simply an instrument, as we all are, in the hands of the divine. And before I go further, I would like to thank you all for your support. And 4 years ago, I single-handedly organized the inauguration event, mainly with the help of many, but I worked pretty hard. But I'm delighted to see that this time around, 4 years later, Swami Shantivratananda has done a spectacular job. And I'd like you to give a round of appreciative applause. I was pretty much hands-off, completely hands-off on this occasion. And I was delighted to see how well it went. But you see, divine inspiration on one side is always matched by devotees' response on the other. And it is all part of a divine plan. It is remarkable how quickly it worked. And it was remarkable how even the small event, not so small, of the newly elected mayor came today and graced us with his presence. It was the second formal event since his election. And I was delighted by the fact that he spent time here and appreciated the place and what we were doing very much. He knew some of the people we had known in the early days from the Garda, people who had given us good advice on security, things like that, because he himself was a Garda for something like, I think he said 30 years, I might be wrong. Huh? 30 years, okay, 30 years. And he's still sane, so that's remarkable. So when we look at all the events in our own lives, we can see milestones. And these milestones are the divine hand, what I like to call divine helmsman, steering the ship. So I think it's only fair from time to time to pause in our own life, mark these milestones, see the divine hand in them, and evoke a feeling of thankfulness. The COVID virus that we all experienced pretty much closed the place down, as it closed everywhere down. And our challenge now is to see if we can bring things back to what they were. On Tuesday evenings, we had at least a dozen regular attendees. Now we'd be lucky if we get 2 or 3. I mentioned about the Ramayana classes on Saturday. In pre-COVID days, these would have been attended. Of course, we wouldn't have broadcasted by Zoom. You know, COVID was a double-edged sword. It gave us a broader audience, and that was good. But it did something else, and many institutions are suffering from the same problem, that it diminished live attendance. Why would I come and listen to Purnananda when I can listen to Sarva Priyananda on the YouTube? But that's not the point. So the first challenge we have post-COVID is to feel at home here. I want you all to regard this as your home. I want you all to come in here feeling this is your family. Because we are doing the most important work we could ever do. And it's in that first objective. And that is propagation of the Vedanta philosophy. What does this mean? Of all the charitable works we could ever be doing, and Swami Vivekananda lists them, from giving people the opportunity to access their own inner freedom, to education, educating somebody, to doing something for disadvantaged people or suffering people, and lastly, to save a life. And in his order of priorities, the last one is the last one. What modern society has done is it turned up upside down and made saving a life the priority. Of course, it's a noble thing to save a person's life. But look how Vedanta provides us with the opportunity. And the priest prayer says, you see, Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyoti gamaya. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Is this not the most noble thing we could ever do? Is to give people the opportunity to access their freedom. And how do we do it? We do it by being the example of Vedantins everywhere. That is, living the life of truth, nobility, inspiration, and also mysticism, which we call yoga. Accessing this in reality, not in theory. Giving people the opportunity to make an inner opening, giving people a surge of realization, an inner rapture where they experience their freedom in reality. Many people talk about God. Many people write books about it. But how many people have seen? How many people have experienced? And this is our top priority. How do we do it? We all have to be missionaries. We ourselves are missionaries in the land of Ireland. And why Ireland? For me personally, it started off with a dream. I had a dream that I was flying, what we call precognitive dream. On the left was the sea. I'm from a landlocked country. There's no sea there. We're grateful if there's a puddle. And on the other side, cliffs and mountains and greenery. And if you go to the cliffs of Howth today, that's exactly my dream. I had no idea about Ireland. I had no knowledge about Ireland. And then I got an invitation and I came here, and the rest, as they say, is history. So it started off with a dream and, my personal point of view, a divine dream, a calling. So confident was I when I came to this land, and respondents were there, namely yourselves. On the one side, inspiration. On the other side, those who respond to the call, who match the original inspired thoughts. And everything starts with a thought that develops into a vision. And that vision ultimately develops into something concrete. And it's not just about a building. It's about your presence in the building. It's about you gaining all the principles that Vedanta has to offer. We've just had a quiz. We have 2 quizzes, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. But you see, both of these give us a model of ideal spiritual life. And all life is spiritual. That's how we have to view it. There is no such thing as secular life. That's only a false division in our own minds. Everything is spiritual because that is our central purpose. Swami Vivekananda, I don't think anybody can surpass his statement. Each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this from within. And then he tells us how we can control nature, internal and external, making it practical. What we call secular life is external life. So by controlling internal life, we are also controlling the external life. And then he says, gives us the options of many different yogas. 4 yogas are there. And then he makes this astonishing statement. What we conventionally has been taken for religion, dogmas, doctrines, temples, churches, etc., books, are all but secondary details, not primary at all. These are just ways of expressing, and everybody is constitutionally different, so we'll express it in a different way. And one of the purposes of this place is to give people the opportunity to express this in their own way. If you like worship, we have it. If you like meditation, we have it. If you don't know anything about meditation, we have courses on it. If you want some withdrawal, some stillness, then we have, and COVID disrupted it, we have retreats, silent retreats. And every person who's been on it, the last 2 retreats, 20, 25 people have come away with this inner stillness, a profound experience that stimulates the question, when is your next retreat? When is your next retreat? We have here on this stand up, we have all the activities that we produce. We have classes on philosophy. What use is philosophy? Well, it's no use unless it is emotionally compatible with what you're feeling and it's put into practice. But both of these things we are teaching. Of course, we can teach as much as we like. It's up to other people to practice it. We have the opportunity to really go deep into our spiritual life. That is why we exist here. And we express it also because, as Swami Bodhisattva had said, Sister Nivedita's contribution is quite unique. And we are proud to have her as a daughter of Ireland. Of all the qualities Swami Vivekananda lists, above all your Celtic blood, he says. What does it mean? So yesterday I wrote a thought, a poem. Of course, it was a re-edited thing from last year. But it says how Sister Nivedita is something like another Saint Bridget. And if you didn't know, next year, Bridget's commemoration day is a national holiday. St. Patrick's is a national holiday. Now Bridget's is a national holiday. Because she too was a remarkable woman. And this Sister Nivedita was a remarkable woman, giving us a great, great example of dedication. Her name suggested dedication, giving your whole life for something. So you have given those who are members and who are dedicated and who attend classes regularly, you are also doing the work of Vedanta, because how do we teach other people the lofty, noble principles of Vedanta, unsurpassed anywhere, creating for us a foundation for all religions. And even if you're a scientific humanist, it creates a basis for it. It's by yourselves living the life, taking the principles seriously, understanding them seriously. It's not about scholarship. It's about understanding the fundamental principles that have to be repeated time and time again. We had a breakfast conversation the other day. Oh, you know what? Nobody understands what you're saying. No, you wouldn't say nobody. Some people. I would say nobody, but this person was kind enough to say some people don't understand what I'm saying. And I always remember the story I told, 2 devotees. And there was one devotee and he brought a friend. And after some time, and at that time, we didn't have a premises at all. At that time, we were operating from everywhere and anywhere we could, somebody's house. And then we were operating at, there's an ecology center, near Bettystown. And Paddy Shanahan had organized such a thing, such a venue. So in that venue, these 2 people, among others, had come. And I said, what happened to your friend? I said, he's not coming again. He can't understand a word you say. I said, okay, all right. Maybe it's my Zimbabwe accent. No, he just can't understand. He understands what you're saying, but And I said, and you understand? He said, no, I also don't understand. He said, I'm going to come on again and again and again until I do. And that's the difference. To come again and again, because the principles are very subtle. Our philosophy is practical, no doubt, but it's an unusual way of thinking. If you want to summarize the thinking of the highest conclusions of Vedanta, there's only one entity. Brahman alone is there. The Atman and Brahman is the same thing. And this phenomenal world is mithya. It's an apparitional world. Now that's tough because you think it's real. You and I walk around as if it's real. So how do we catch the principle up with the practice? We do it step by step gradually. And we have two people here, two monks here, who are able to guide you in this direction, guide you personally. And over the years, I like to think that many people have come and many people have gone with a feeling of upliftment, a new resurgence in their life. And in many cases, quite frankly, their lives have been completely transformed. It's nothing to do with me. It's to do with me giving the material, the necessary urge and impetus, and the other person responding. And if you have a wish to respond, if sometimes in some cases you're desperate enough to respond, then the response will come and the upliftment will be there. So all of these things start with a small seed, divinely inspired, developing into a thought, a vision, developing ultimately by the universe itself, developed into configurations of things that happen. In 2016, we had 6,000 euros in our bank account. By 2017, end of, we were able to purchase this place completely with the great, great help of generous donors. Those people who gave us a great personal sacrifice, personal loans. And I thank them for their generosity. Without that, we wouldn't have been able to accomplish it. But they too were instruments, divinely inspired. And we have to give the credit to Sri Ramakrishna completely, 100%, without any doubt. And we are just instruments in this. The wonderful transformation of a dirty, cold, abandoned shop and transformed into this. It's not a big deal. It's not a big place. Many centers are so much bigger than this place, but it's not the size of it. The wealth is in the sincerity of the devotees. The wealth is in those people who come and sincerely want to adopt the principles and practices found in Vedanta and yoga. And by yoga, I mean the spiritual direction found in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Dhyana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All of these, because we have these dimensions in our own minds. And so I don't think we could have managed without all these different ingredients that came together, all being divinely inspired. And when I see the great spirit of activity that happened on occasions like this, for example, yesterday, people arranging flowers, people packaging things, the enormous amount of work that went into the formation of the WhatsApp, just for one day, essentially. And it's more than just a mere event, or even an event where a mayor attends, forgive the pun, but it's an event that brings people together. And if we can do more of this, like a family, and a family doesn't exclude anybody, by the way, at all. So this is all as a result of divine grace. And we have to really feel that and acknowledge that. The objectives are quite clear. And we are now in a different phase of operation where we now have to come away from small time thinking and small time activities, and our affiliation to Belur Math and our charity status now has to go into the phase where we tighten up our administration and where we now conform as much as we can to the governing principles, the governance that are laid out by an increasingly stringent number of rules and regulations put out by charities regulator. So we are currently in that phase now. I think we have many challenges, but this is a land of saints and scholars. And I have often thought that because of this, we and that thrust of the original saints and scholars of this holy land, Ireland, and be a beacon light for the rest of Europe, bring under secular attitudes and secular values. These values crept into itself, and that these statistics forms the vector, so the census statistics that come back to us. We have to understand the mindset of people in Ireland and how we can then give them the opportunity for these noble Vedanta principles that are not just going to enlighten them and bring them some blissful internal rewards, but create a unity which religions at the moment don't have, because Swami Vivekananda's principles tell us that what they value highly are secondary details, and creates a sense of exclusiveness, what I call nosism. Those who know me know my phrase, nosism. Nosism, my nose is better than yours because it's mine. So just on that basis. So as a result, important activity that we do is in the realm of interfaith. And for many, many years, we've managed to be active members of the Dublin City Interfaith Forum, which really is the Irish Interfaith Forum, and contribute significantly to interfaith dialogue and activity. And we are the only position there that says, actually, all religions are true. So many faiths, so many paths, all are true. And many find it irresistible, and many find it irresponsible. They can't deal with it because of their upbringing. Cultural upbringing is immensely strong, is immensely difficult to overcome or be discerning about. It's in the very DNA. And we're not asking people to change their DNA. We're asking them to adapt. And we have to be adaptable also. We have to talk in the language that people understand. We have to try and get into the way people are thinking so that we can deal with every single person who arrives at our doorstep. Be they refugees from Syria, be they Irish people, be they Indian people working here or residing here, be they Muslim, be they Hindu, be they Catholic, be they any number of other religious denominations, and increasingly be they secular humanists. So we can act as an inspiration for unity here in Ireland, something that is missing really. And the clues are increasingly there, because in my personal view, I think there's a revolution when Sri Ramakrishna came here. A revolution in thinking, what was described earlier by Swami Buddhaswarananda, the uniqueness that Swami Vivekananda brought to the whole Vedanta philosophy. And all he was doing was he was being a mouthpiece for Sri Ramakrishna. What was the uniqueness? Well, the uniqueness is always in the area, in the age in which that person comes. relevant for the times. And the relevancy is this, that sooner or later people have to understand the unity and harmony which is inherently here already, and the truths which all religions espouse in some way. And yet, traditionalism, orthodoxy, ritualism, upbringing, culture gets in the way. There's a demand, a great demand for it here. So we can see how smoothly interfaith issues have unfolded naturally. And we are in tune with this timing, naturally. If this is Ramakrishna's inspiration, it naturally will unfold at his time, in his pace, at his pace, with his carefully designed steps that unfold. So I want to invite you to share our vision. Being members, become members, share our vision, contribute toward your own spiritual life, and contribute toward the center which is providing this highly charitable work everywhere. And it's very subtle, or can be very subtle, because over the years I've seen huge transformation here amongst the whole local people. On school days when parents go past here and either of us happen to be outside, we always get a greeting, a warm greeting. Previously, we had got a greeting all right, it wasn't so warm. In fact, the only warmth we found in the early days was a threat to burn us down. They said we are Muslims, Muslim Pakistanis, creating a mosque here. We should have that should have been a compliment to us. But you see, this was the hostility we faced here. The mayor mentioned today how this was a very dark, dangerous area at one point in time. And what I feel is that our very presence here has created a transformation in the area acknowledged by the people themselves here. And this reflects on their children who are brought up by parents with great social difficulties. So I would encourage you to be familiar with the activities that are going on here from week to week and to actively partake in them. And of course, the caveat is if you can't physically attend, then of course there's Zoom and there's YouTube and so on and so forth. But that's really doesn't substitute for coming here, supporting the place by your presence, but more importantly, getting the darshana from this place, absorbing the holiness of this place. You must have noticed as you walk into the shrine, but it wasn't always like this. When we walked in, it was an area of depression, depravity, difficulties, social anomalies. And it has been transformed through the divine grace of Sri Ramakrishna. May Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda bless us all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. I think personally, at least this place has been an anchor in my life, especially during COVID times. And we are so thankful for your presence and the presence of this ashram here. Made a lot of change to a lot of lives, I'm sure about it, and brings all of us as a community. Thank you so much. So to share more of the personal experience, I call upon Sanita Senji.
Well, my pranams to Purnanandaji and Shanti Vratanandaji, and thank you, Shanti Vratanandaji, for inviting me to say a few words on this very special occasion, 4th anniversary. So we came to Ireland in 1971, so that was more than 50 years ago. And then Ireland was very different from what it is now. And I missed not having a Hindu temple and Ramakrishna Mission, but my links with Ramakrishna Mission go back a long time. I was maybe 4 or 5 when my mother was initiated by Shankaranandaji, and I used to go to Bellumat with her regularly. And then after that, in those days, I used to go to the 3 temples at Bellumat and to see my Gurudev, Vireshanandaji, and to visit Bharat Maharaj. And after that, like when I got married and came to Ireland, I didn't get to go to Bellumat as often. But then after a while, my Gurudev passed away and Bharat Maharaj passed away as well. So I had no connection with Bellumat. And I wrote to Bellumat saying that, to manager Bellumat saying, whoever is there, I don't know any of you because my Gurudev is gone and Bharat Maharaj is not there anymore. So I immediately got a reply from Shami Pramayanandaji. He was by then the manager of Bellumat, and he was my Gurudev's private secretary. So he had known me for a long time, and since I was quite young. I was initiated in 1968, February 1968, when I was in college. So he had known me since then. And every time I went to Bellumat, I would go and visit him. And then gradually I started pestering him. I said, Maharaj, there are centers all over the world. How come we don't have any center in Ireland? It's Sister Nivedita's birthplace. And he would just smile and he said, you know, Anita, now they have 2 centers in Japan. What? 2 centers in Japan? Oh, there are 4 in Brazil. And I'd go mad and she'd excuse me. I said, now there are 3 in Argentina. I said, I don't want to hear any more of this. So you have to get started in Dublin. But I had no idea how the centers actually evolved. I thought the Bellumat decided where they want to set up a center and they do it. But then I was told that if you're really interested, you have to form, if the initiative should come from the devotees. And it's only then when we think that the devotees are ready for a center, then we will do something. So the first thing you have to do is you have to form a Vedanta Society. And so I said, okay, we'll do that. So when I came back and I said, I'll have to meet someone who would be interested in Ramakrishna. And so I decided I'll go to the Durga Puja that year. That was 2008, was it? And I go to the Durga Puja. That was my only reason I went there to catch some devotees from there. And it just so happened there were 3 ladies sitting on the stage floor and they were chatting away. And I went up and I said, listen, have you heard of Ramakrishna Mission? They said, oh, Mashi, we are all initiated members of Ramakrishna Mission. I said, really? He said, not only us, our parents-in-law, our grandparents from mother's side, from father's side, and uncles and aunts. So I was delighted. I said, okay, then why don't you come to our house on Sunday and we'll take it from there. So Rai and Molloy, Gangotri and Patel, and Lena and Bijon, the 6 of them, came to our house that Sunday afternoon for lunch, and we set up Vedanta Society of Ireland. And then Pramayanandaji told me that you have to go to, well, at that time we had no idea of Punanandaji, we didn't know about him at all. So I went to the UK Center, and Daitmanandaji became our mentor and guide. And he said, okay, I'll come over. But Pramayanandaji had told me that you invite other swamis from different centers and they'll come and give talks and things like that. So Daitmanandaji came, that was 2009. I went to meet Daitmanandaji at the UK Center. And then he came over, we invited him, and he came over in 2010. And he stayed with us in our house. We had a weekend retreat. And then we organized, my husband organized a public lecture at Trinity College. So that's how I got started. And then a few days later, I got an email. Suddenly, it was my birthday. And I got an email from Swami Purnanandaji. And he introduced himself and he said he was initiated by Vireshanandaji. I was over the moon. What? And Guru Bhai in Ireland, never thought the day would come. I was so excited. And we had a mutual friend, Deepak Inamdar. He had actually told Purnanandaji that Daitmanandaji came and there was a public lecture and there's a Vedanta Society that we have started. So he said, I'll be very interested and to join you whenever we have a meeting. So we were told by Daitmanandaji to have a meeting at least once a week, if not once a week, once a month, if not fortnightly. So we decided to go for once month meetings. And then we took turns that it would happen in our house, Rai's and Gangatri's and Lina's. And at that time, Malubika and, Rai and Gangatri told me that Malubika and Joita, they would be very interested in joining, but they are not kind of, Malubika, you were expecting probably at that stage, yes, yeah. And Joita couldn't come. Like Joita, they live in Malingar, so it wasn't as easy for them to travel. So that's how it started. And then every year we invited someone or other from, the following year, Dait Mananjiti brought me to Gretz to introduce me to Swami Vitamanandaji. They were going for a weekend retreat, and I was very lucky to be able to go with them. And then I invited Vitamanandaji to come to Dublin, and then he started coming as well. And he gave a talk at your place, and we had a weekend retreat.
Connection.
Huh?
Connection with him.
Oh,
You mentioned it. You were speculating what he was going to say.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. So when we got that's right. When we got the email from Punanandaji, we were so excited, and I phoned Rai and I said, look, I got this email, and he said he got initiated by Vidisharanandaji, and I can't believe that. So he said he would be very interested in joining our satsang. And so we invited him. The next one was going to be held at Lina's house. So we invited Punanandaji to go there. And he said, somebody from our group will go and collect you and drop you after the meeting. And he said, well, I have a car and I drive and I have a GPS. So I don't need to really drop you or anything. So that was great. So he went straight to Lina's house. And from then on. But then when we got the email from him, he only said that he was initiated by Vidisharanandaji, and we didn't know anything about him. And so we were guessing, well, would he be from Maharashtra or from Tamil Nadu or Bengal, maybe Gujarat? So we had no idea that he was. And then I couldn't, it was getting too much for me. And I Googled Purnananda, and it said there was an interview. Somebody was interviewing you. And I said, my goodness, blue eyes. He's not Indian. So I immediately left the thing and then rang Rai. I said, no, he's not Indian. He has blue eyes. So I've never met a non-Indian Swami before. So we were very excited. And then we were waiting for him to arrive at Lina's house. And then he came and, my goodness. And then he said, I'm sure you're all guessing where am I from. And actually by the interview, I said, gosh, he's not Irish, he's not British, he's not American, and he's not Australian either. So we couldn't figure out what accent he had. He said, you must be all very curious about my, I come from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. That was really something. I've never met anybody from Zimbabwe, not a Swami by any means. So that was the beginning. And from then on, he always came and then we would go to all their functions. And then we had the first ever Ramakrishna Jayanti celebrated in our house. That was the first time ever in Ireland. And Maharaj did the puja. And everybody joined in. We had a huge gathering. And then Vivekananda's Jayanti was held there too. And there were so many. There was a huge group. And Punanandaji did the puja. And yeah, everybody came. And a group came from Northern Ireland too. Patrick, no, not Jean, but there were other people from Northern Ireland. Yes, I remember meeting them. So then after that, yes, they were. Now I lost my faces. Dr. Prabhanan. Yes, exactly. Yes, then Ramakrishna Krishna. Yes, Swami, by then, Pramayanandaji was made vice president, and Swami Girishanandaji became the manager of Belur Math. So Pramayanandaji introduced me to Girishanandaji, and since then on, he had no peace. I was constantly bothering him. When are you coming to Dublin? When are you coming to Dublin? So then one day he told me, yes, I am. I'm going to Europe, so I will go and visit you then. So he came and he saw a group. And a funny thing happened. That was the time he came on his own. And Punanandaji and Siddhartha and Paddy Shanahan, they had gone to meet him at the airport. And there were a lot of people waiting for him to come. We're going to have a satsang. And he wasn't coming. He wasn't. Then finally, I got a phone number, a phone call. A taxi man called. And he said, "Look, I have somebody who's come from India. He wants to go to your house. What's your address?" And I said, "Somebody coming from India, coming to my house. Who is he?" And he said, "Anita, Girishananda." I said, "Mohan, what are you doing in the taxi? Like Punanandaji, Siddhartha, and Paddy, they've all gone to meet you." And they said, "Well, I didn't see anyone, so the man got me a taxi."
One. He was a two.
Oh my goodness! Whoever was pushing him, yeah, got him to the wrong here. You were waiting at Terminal 2? And
We were waiting at one.
you were waiting at 1, so he came to Terminal 2. So anyway, he arrived and he was very happy with what he saw. And then he said, okay, so 2 years later, he came back again. And this time he was very serious. And in the meantime, I was just driving him mad. I'm sure he was afraid to see me at one stage. Then he brought, which year was that he came with? No, they're not my papers. I'm taking some of it. 2014. No, 2015. 2015, Swami Girishanandaji brought Swami Kripamanandaji from Toronto Center, and another Swami from St. Petersburg was supposed to come, but there was some problem with visa and he couldn't make it. So there were 2 Swamis and a devotee. They stayed with us, and that time he was really serious. So he got everybody's name and everything. And when they went to Trinity, he sat in Siddhartha's room and they composed a letter.
See,
right?
he didn't wait to go back. He said, "I want to send the thing immediately." So he took me to my office and I drafted something and he corrected it. And he was so precise. We had to give all the list of names of people and details and exactly what he saw, and he was very impressed with
You see, on his first visit, I presented him with a donation, which we have been given every year.
Yes.
With a report mentioning that when I arrived here and formed the committee, that we have a clause that says that if Virumat wants to take us over, we can take us over.
Yes.
So with that report and with the donation and what have you,
Yes.
it was really the basis for the second visit.
Yes. So you've been sending in donations, and the application was in as well.
Every year we give half of our proceeds to India and half to local charity.
Yeah, donations, we all send huge donations as well to Ramakrishna Math. But Swami Girishananda and Kripamananda, and they were really very serious into it. And when he went back, and then 15 later on in the year, when we went to Kolkata, they invited us to attend the trustee meeting, and we met all the other members of the trustee. And then Girishananda introduced me to Shubhiranandaji, and said he'll be going to visit Dublin next year. So he came, and Shantanu Maharaj and Ashok Pradhan, they came in 2016. And then later on, Swami Sharbalakananda came as well with the devotee the same year. And in 2017 came Swami Chaitanananda with the devotee, and Swami Shwetananda and Swami Tatcharananda. And they stayed with us as well. And Siddhartha arranged, was it a video? You and Molay Bose here. You made a video and it was shown in Trinity. And it was a packed audience, and it went very well. So after that, we're forgetting the Matajis. We were actually so blessed, I couldn't believe it. Amula Prana Mataji came, that was in 2013. Amula Prana Mataji and Divyananda Prana Mataji, they came from Sharadamath in 2013. And in 2017 came Ashish Prana Mataji and Ganoda Prana Mataji. And even that was very distinct. I had gone to Sharada Math, and I had never stayed there before. And I went to see Amalaprana Mataji and asked her, I said, I've never stayed here. Can I come here and stay at the guest house for one night? And she said, of course you can. And I said, are you free on the 5th of November? And I said, well, even if I'm not, I'll make sure, I'll make myself free and I'll be here. And then I said, yes, that's Kali Puja night. So I was absolutely overwhelmed. I couldn't believe that I'll be able to spend the Kali Puja night there. He said, you have a room, you come here in the morning, have lunch or prasad, rest in the afternoon. But once the puja starts, you can't sleep in the temple while the puja is going on. So if you feel tired, go back to your room and you can rest as long as you like. But that's one condition, that I couldn't sleep in the while the puja was going on. But I couldn't believe that they'll ever visit Dublin, and we were so blessed to have so many Matajis come here as well. So I think I'll let you go. And is it anything? Oh, that's one of the things. When Shritanandaji came and he said, you need your own premises. You can't have a Ramakrishna mission like Math or ashram in a rented place. So that really kind of scared me. So what are we going to do? Because we didn't think we could afford to buy premises ourselves. And they said, don't worry about that. We can't send money because of foreign exchange regulations. We can't send from headquarters, but I'll instruct all the other centers in the States and Europe to send you as much money as they could. And they were very, very generous. The donations just poured in. And even UK Center gave us 30,000, and Chicago, St. Petersburg, and a lot of course, the local people and devotees from other countries. And devotees from UK actually came to the inauguration ceremony. That was very nice of them too. There were quite a few of them. And so yeah, for this building, the building was it's in such a state. The people who actually saw it will realize how bad it was. Otherwise, but Punanandaji and Dr. Brian Hallow in there, they transformed the place. It's unbelievable, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, Dermot and so many of them. Yes, they were like when we heard that the thing has been purchased, the building. I came back sooner than I was supposed to, and I immediately came here to visit the thing. And it was so dark and damp, and it was apparently rat infested, and they were Dermot, and there were other, was it Philip? I can't remember the name. Stuart, yeah, there were a group of them. Yeah, they were all working away. They were on their hands and knees, scrubbing and cleaning, and it was such a thing. I don't know how you did it, but we are extremely fortunate to have a center, and thank you all for being so patient and sitting through my talk.
Thank you so much. I think we can see the divine at play, right? Swamiji having a dream. Yes. We're always searching for the mud here, and all of them coming together, and we have this beautiful place. Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so I call upon Swami Shanti Radanandaji to have a few words. And I think he came with a boost of energy, and the ashram is buzzing with that energy. We all can see it. So please, Swamiji.
We'll have a prize distribution for that. Prize distribution now. So we'll have a bit break. Yeah. So I request Swami Purnanji Maharaj to give the prizes for the quiz participants. Your names, I think you know, so you can come by yourself. Because I don't know.
I can read it out.
Okay, you can read it.
And the second, first prize.
No, second prize goes for second prize.
No, there's only two prizes, sorry.
For second, yeah.
So for the runner-up, it's a Rai Mola M. Chuba.
Come.
Come, please.
Come. All the three you come.
Oh, yeah, Swamiji.
All the three.
wow, this is so beautiful.
Come, Alex.
Where? This side, okay.
No,
Okay, right?
To right.
अच्छा एक है
You have one.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Show the photo.
Okay.
Right, yes.
And the champion of the
Yay!
are Sharon Suya and Bertie.
Where is Saranya?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You take it.
This side, like this, yeah.
And then here.
Yeah, show the, they are taking the photo. Yeah, certainly.
Sorry.
Yes. Good. Right, we can partner.
Congratulations for all the quiz participants and winners. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So all the prizes were brought by them and they're taking.
It's all Divine Mother Swamiji.
One source.
Now a scoop news about the quiz. I entered the ashram today. Every corner I find the quiz participants very seriously. Some kind of stairs, etc. Actually, the bit of reading, last moment reading. It was really very engrossing quiz.
Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Durjano Sajjano Goyat, Sajjana Shanti Mapnuyat, Shanto Mucheta Bandebhyo, Muktaschanyan Vimochayet. First prayer meaning most of you know, so I'm telling only the second prayer's meaning. Let all the wicked people be converted into the gentle people, righteous people. Let all the righteous people may attain, by God's grace, the eternal peace. Let all the eternal people who have attained the eternal peace, let them strive for emancipation. And let the people who have got self-realization, let them help the others or the humankind for their liberation. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear devotees, and my reverential pranams to Swami Purnanji Maharaj. And wonderful day this was. So I think probably 2 months before when I was chanting Gita chanting for Balagokulam students. So I thought probably if I have one Gita chanting competition sort of, they'll be more interested in learning. Though they were interested in learning, but I said, look guys, look children, in 2 months we are having our 4th anniversary. We will have a competition, then why don't you learn? So they were said, oh Swami, then we will learn very fast. Because they were interested in participating in quiz. Then some of the parents had come to take. Then they heard that, Swami, then you don't have any competition for us. I mean, the parents of the children, they were asking. I said, okay, we can also have some competition for adults also, I thought. Then the mind was lingering in me what I can do. Then it reminded me of the 4th anniversary. Generally, our functions will be on prayer, worship, then lectures or discourses, all these things, generally. But this time I thought, okay, let me have a different way of doing the anniversary, what I can do. But we cannot do recreational games and all, like outside club activities. Then I said, we can have some educational fun, like just I thought of Bhagavad competition for the children. So similarly, something maybe, then we discussed with some devotees and all, quiz on Ramayana, quiz on Mahabharata, quiz on Vivekananda, quiz on Sri Ram, something like this and all. Then some people said, or many people suggested, maybe to start with, we'll have a quiz on Ramayana, which may be interesting. That's how the program, whatever we saw, the wonderful and with full of fun and with full of education from afternoon. And of course, a lot of devotees have dedicated their time. So many thanks for them. And today, whole event are the journey and the genesis and the journey of this Éire Vedanta Society or Ramakrishna Vedanta Center reminds me of a life of the river. Whoever has visited if you go for Nasik, near Nasik, in the Maharashtra of India, 5 rivers, they take their birth. in Trambakeshwar, one of the Dwadash Jyotirlinga, there, if you see the river Godavari, which was connected to Ramayana, the Godavari starts in a small pond-like. And it will be just like, even it is not like even drainage water, such a small stream it will be. But slowly when you see in Andhra Pradesh, the southern part of India, it is very huge river. Right? Slowly when entering so much, probably the rainwater enters, tributaries and so many river channels enters, and it becomes a very huge, big river. It is no more stream. So like this, the Éire Vedanta Society at Ramakrishna Vedanta Center also started with the Swami Purnanji Maharaj's dream, dedication, commitment, and all of the devotees, volunteers, their dedication, commitment, and all these things. And today we are seeing that the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition, or Ramakrishna Vedanta tradition, like a big river, where so thousands of people have dedicated their lives. By that, they have blessed their lives. It is because Swami Vivekananda tells beautifully in his Karma Yoga lecture, it is not the receiver who is blessed, it is the giver who is blessed. So this is one of the wonderful philosophy for all of us who try to practice service or seva. By doing seva, it is not the giver, receiver is blessed, it is actually the giver is blessed. This idea was taken for Swami Vivekananda by Sri Ramakrishna's idea, his teaching itself, Shivagnani Jiva Seva. We all worship God, maybe in churches or mosque or in a temple or in any different religious places. Yes, that is fine. That is the beginning of any religion, probably religious practices. But the best religious practice can be, or spiritual practice can be, by serving the people. Either maybe distressed people or maybe any needy people at a physical level or at emotional level or spiritual level, at any level. And why should we do it? Swami Vivekananda gives a beautiful picture for this. He learned from his guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, that the human body can be the best temple for living God. So this idea is very much practiced in Ramakrishna Math or Ramakrishna Mission, or the followers of Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition. And many times, so most of us, we know how Swami Purnanji Maharaj started his life in Ireland in a one small house. It is not house, basically in the room, basically. And so much dedication, commitment we see in Swamiji's life. How it is possible? And there are so many galaxy of saints and galaxy of monks have come all over the world in every religion. And also same thing with this Ramakrishna Vedanta tradition. So many times devotees and volunteers, they ask, from where do you get such an inspiration? From where do you get such type of a mindset and etc. etc. And many times, because in India I was working for 8.5 years in the teachers training college. So after knowing closely, some students used to come and ask, Swami, it was a 1-year course then. So because morning they have to get up at 5 o'clock and they have to sleep at 10 o'clock with a regular routine, 2 times prayer and etc. etc. We are 10 months here and we'll go away. Afterwards we are free. But we feel very sorry for you, Swami. Why? Because your life is very monotonous. At least we have got option. Today I will wear some dress, tomorrow I will wear dress. But we see you have got same dress every day. And for 10 months we have got only one routine, do daily 2 times prayer, 3 times regular food and etc. etc. But we see whole of your life, you have to have same routine. We feel very sorry for you. Because I think you have lost a lot of things in our life. We feel sorry. Then I used to say, no, I feel sorry for you. Why? Because you are missing the greatest things, which are the spiritual jewels or diamonds which you people are losing. And slowly when they used to come close contact with us, they used to understand the worth of this. So many times even many devotees do ask how the monk life will be there and how the training is there. Because already Swamiji has given wonderful philosophical aspect for this Vedanta tradition. So I thought I will give only some stories which will supplement his philosophy. How the monk life is in Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition, or Ramakrishna Math or mission, or in any Ramakrishna Bhavadhara, or Vedanta Bhavadhara, for that matter, anyone. So we have got Hindus, we have got Muslims, we have got Christians, we have got Sikhs, we have got Jains, means the monks from every community we have got, in either in India or in abroad. So generally, how the monk's life will be in the mission. Generally, whoever wishes to be a monk, generally, when they approach Ramakrishna Math and mission, immediately they say, oh, you want to become a monk, please come. There is a place here. No. You want to become a monk, I think it is difficult and it may not be very good. By mistake I came, why do you want to come? So that type of generally the seniors tell, because they discourage them. Twice, thrice, 4 or 5 times they discourage. And if the young chap if says, no, I think there is something here, I want to come, then they start asking, okay, why you want to come? Then when they get a right answer from him, and then said, okay, you come for maybe with your clothes, 2 sets of clothes and paste brush and etc. And you come and you stay, then we will see. Then he will be strictly observed for 3 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months. Then if he feels, the pontiff or the president of the ashrama feels okay, then he was given application. In the application, his whole biodata will be filled and so many medical tests were done. When we joined, when the medical tests were undergone, then many of the medical tests we had never heard even the names of that. So such a vigorous medical test will be done. Then I was asking, as a young novice, Swami, we are coming here to serve the Sangha, but you people you are making me to undergo so many medical tests. Why is it? Then don't you have a confidence in us? No, because you are supposed to come and serve us. Tomorrow if something happens, we have to serve you. That's why we don't want to. So we don't want to make sure that should not happen. At least initially it should not happen. So anyhow, the test is done, all these things. If everything goes well, all our original marks cards and medical reports, everything will be sent to the headquarters. And all our medical things will be going to hospitals. The doctor will examine. The last section will examine our medical, certificates, whether it is true or not, etc. Then everything goes well. Then we get a letter that you have been accepted as a pre-probationer. By this time, already 1 year is over. And started routine from 4 o'clock, getting up and whatever the classes and routine and all. So after 1 year, if everything goes well, then again, one more application with the short medical exams and all, then it is called, then probationer. Then yes, everything like whether he's okay and the pontiff has to give the certificate. Yes, he is in accordance with the monastic principles, monastic rules. He follows routine. He doesn't eat too much and he doesn't eat at all. No, both should be avoided all. And he doesn't talk too much and he doesn't talk at all. All these things are there. So all these things has to be somewhere yes, somewhere no, all these things. Then if application goes, then he's accepted as a probationer. Then afterwards, 2 years set of syllabus we have got. So many syllabus we have got. Like Bhagavad Gita we should read and possibly we have to mug up, we have to bahar. Upanishads we should read, talk. Sri Ramakrishna, Sharda Vivekananda's literature and possibly some Vedantic books. And there are prescribed syllabus and apostles of Sri Ramakrishna's books we have to read, and if possible other saints' life and all. Then we are going to, after 2 years of probationership, then we are taken to training center. By that, I think 3 or 4 application forms are already filled. So everywhere there will be check, enough check. And after it goes to training center, our routine starts at morning 3:30. At 3:20 they give a bell. So we have to get up and we finish our oblations and we have to go to temple. 4 to 6 we are supposed to sit and meditate. If not, at least 5:45 till then. No one comes and checks us, but everyone feels that they are responsible. They sit in a temple mostly. And 6:15 we'll have a prayers for 25 minutes. Then 6:30 we have got a breakfast. And who used to go for southern India especially Bengal, puffed rice they used to give. You are all good with eating idli, dosa, upma and puffed rice. What? Evening sometimes I used to feel hungry. I used to take maybe little bowl of puffed rice. Now only I have to eat with puffed rice. It used to be really, really difficult. Whatever it may be. Anyhow, we have to get along. And daily 5 classes we will have. And Sri Ramakrishna, Sharda Vivekananda's life, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, psychology, then Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism. All these things we have to read. And we will have exams. And we will have assignments. And we will have dissertations. No quiz. So all these things. And daily minimum 2 hours we have to work. 5 classes we will have. And evening again we will have a play or exercises. And evening prayer. And again meditation. And 10:30 you can sleep. Not before 10:30 you can go to bed. 10:30 or 11 we can go to bed. And 3:30 you have to get up. So this will be 2 years. And everywhere there will be a checkpoint. And suddenly some call comes from Principal Maharaj. It's called Pracharya Principal Maharaj. The Swamiji. Immediately everyone will start taking, such and such a brahmachari was called by principal. What happened? That is a big issue there. So like that. It goes with the strict disciplines and all. If everything goes well, and Acharya will send his report, the Principal Maharaj will send his report. And 2 years, if everything goes well, then we are posted in the same center somewhere. Then 6 months afterwards, then application will be sent. Till then, if there is no black dot, and if there is no negative report anywhere at any point, then our brahmacharya form will be given, and then we'll have a 10 days of rigorous fastings and so many vratas and all will be there with the classes and all. Then that Swami Vivekananda's Jayanti day, then we will have our brahmacharya summit. Of course, initiation, mantra diksha is common for either devotees for, brahmachari, same thing. Then we will have a brahmacharya diksha. Then our name will be changed for some Chaitanya or whatever. Then again, every 6 months we have got a prescribed syllabus. So even after training center, we are posted to different centers, we have got prescribed syllabus. Like in this, you have to read Brihadaranyaka, somewhere we have to read Mundaka, somewhere we have to read Chandogya Upanishad, somewhere we have to read Apostles of Holy Mother's life and all. Again, 4 years, tedious journey will be there. All these 4 years over, and again till 9.5 years, health is good. Physically, mentally, I'm balanced and everything is good and nowhere, no dots, black dots anywhere. And at the end of 10th year, I will get application form based on the senior's advice. I will get application form to fill, and at the 10th year, we will get the sannyasa. So minimum 10 years, this rigorous training will be there. Anywhere, somewhere, a senior sadhu writes anything, or he mentions that there is something problem in his maybe attitude, in his behavior, etc., etc. Then all these things can extend for whatever the law. So there is a lot of militants training or military training. So this is how our life is. So that's why you can see the dedication, commitment in the monk's life. Why you can see this? Because of this. Like before my coming, the general secretary, once I was in Mysore, there is a 7 p.m. Arati. So just I was about to enter temple, I immediately got a call. Generally, I don't take calls, but somehow I took that day. Then there was in a true color, there was a Belur Math call. Then because Belur Math call, I took. Then the telephone operator said, GS Maharaj would like to speak. General Secretary Maharaj would like to speak. Then I came back from the temple out and I said, hello, Shantivratananda here, Suvirananda is speaking. Yes, Maharaj, pronounce. I thought we will send you to foreign. You want to go? Will you go? I said, Maharaj, whatever you say, wherever will you go to me, ask, I'll go. Okay, then we are thinking you to send Ireland. Will you go? I said, okay, Maharaj. Then you send immediately mail of your consent. I said, fine. Then I kept the phone. Then I searched in the Google, where is Ireland? Because I only knew that Nivedita's birthplace is Ireland. That's how we had learned in Nivedita. Others I never knew. I thought, okay, Ireland, maybe near in USA or somewhere. I had a vague idea. Then it is Iceland, it is not Ireland. Then Ireland is next to UK, that was. Then afterwards, yeah, then anyhow, today we are here and all. So once slowly, when my visa process started, devotees came to know, and some devotees started asking, you are going where, missing you, Maharaj. And one lady suddenly came, Maharaj, from one place to another place, if it is transfer, we feel so much offended or so much agitated. And we are feeling, and we are not seeing any agitation, anxiety in your face. What will happen to you? You don't feel anything, whatever. Then I said, see, we came to serve Sri Ramakrishna. So I'm again, General Secretary Maharaj has asked me to go there, and I've gone to serve Sri Ramakrishna, anything. So I don't have anything personal agenda, anything. I've come here to serve Sri Ramakrishna. So again, Ramakrishna and Ramakrishna mission is one and the same for us, as Swami Vivekananda has told. So we are going to serve Sri Ramakrishna. So we don't bother anything. Then what happens to your food or clothes, shelter? Sri Ramakrishna will take care. Why do you bother? So, and also one message, I have not come here to enjoy my life. I've come here to serve the noble cause. So Sri Ramakrishna will take care, never mind like that. And of course here, at least before coming, I thought, okay, I'm going to foreign center, we have to cook ourselves and we have to maintain ourselves much work. So I can reduce my weight, I thought. But for my prejudice, again, I came, it was only prejudice because the devotees of the Ireland Center are such a beautiful and such a homely, and like always I say, Sharda service group. Mother Annapurna or Mother Sharda comes in their farm, and every day I'm getting a sumptuous meal, and where I'm struggling to reduce my weight. at least my weight is not increased, but I'm not able to reduce my weight because of the good thing. I mean, so much love, affection, and the support I'm getting from the devotees of the Ireland. It is all, of course, Sri Ramakrishna's thing. When all these questions, when you hear, the question may come, or people may ask you, what will happen to me? Or okay, you are going and serving Éire Vedanta Society, Ramakrishna Vedanta Center. What will happen to you? Does your bank balance increase? Or do you get any promotion in your professional life? What do you get? So this question is very important. Some devotees say, oh yes, it is good, but I never thought about this, isn't it? So we have to think this thing. So again, here Swami Vivekananda, the statement comes to rescue that it is the receiver, not the blessed, it is the giver who is blessed. So by involving, because we cannot serve the humanity directly, we cannot service the motherland or the society directly. These are the institutions where they are serving the motherland. irrespective of caste, irrespective of creed, irrespective of race, irrespective of religion, irrespective of the people who from the country, wherever they come from. So they are serving the humanity by involving in such institutions, any institution maybe. So we will be directly or indirectly serving the living God. From that, what happens? We will be nearer to God. What happens? Buddha will become Buddha. What happens coming to Éire Vedanta Society? What happens to coming to such a spiritual places here or anywhere in the part of the globe? What happens? Slowly, the Buddha will be transferred himself to the Buddha. How? Because of our attitudes, because of our impressions, because of our tendencies or samskaras, because of our change in our outlook. All these things is what our life is. Some person is good, some person is bad. What makes it to say that he is a good or he is a bad? Because of his character. What is the character? It is some total of impressions or impressions. What are that impressions? Their work, their actions, their thoughts. So if you take care of your actions and if you take care of your thoughts, then your personality is formed. And to form your personality, to form your character, to form your right thinking, right attitude, you are supposed to listen to our talks or any wise people's talk. So your attitude set proper. Your thinking. Any religious leader or spiritual leader, any spiritual leader, what he goes to tell, he always he tries to speak about the truth, what is truth and how to approach the truth or how to practice the truth and how to make it the fact of our life. That's all the Éire Vedanta Society or Ramakrishna Vedanta Center or any other wise people is trying to tell. That is the reason we should come. When you keep on coming, slowly, these ideas will enter. Just like you drop a pebble in the pond, what happens? It creates a small ripple and it goes and sinks into the bottom, that's it. And you don't see that pebble. But that ripple is the cause to create one more ripple. And that creates one more ripple. So there are n number of ripples in the pond. So similarly, we may not understand the lectures given by the Swamis here. The whole lecture, entire lecture for 45 minutes or 1 hour. But 1 or 2 or 3 thoughts or 1 or 2 or 3 ideas you may understand and slowly it may sink into your mind. Slowly that will start creating impulses, ripples in your mind. Probably that can stimulate your thinking, stimulate your life current and etc. in the due course of time. Maybe in 1 year, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, based upon our interest, based upon your seriousness. So many changes can come. So by serving, by coming here, by listening talks, by attending prayers, or by attending the Vesper service, in whatever the activities of the Éire Vedanta Society, Ramakrishna Vedanta Center, what happens? There will be qualitative transformation in a humanity or in a human being. That is told beautifully, philosophically, in a simple secular language by Swami Vivekananda is manifesting the divinity. How to manifest the divinity? Swami Vivekananda has given 4 paths. That's path of selfless action, Karma Yoga, the path of love, that is Bhakti Yoga, the path of psychic control or meditation, that is Raja Yoga, we can say, and the path of knowledge, that is Jnana Yoga. Either 1 or 2 or all of this. Then by practicing this, what happens? The divinity is manifested. Once the divinity is manifested, either you can say you are nearer to God or you are nearer to your own self, you can say, or you will be a liberated person. That's what emancipation, liberation, nirvana, so on and so forth we see. So attain that permanent peace, to attain that eternal bliss, everlasting bliss, we should come to Éire Vedanta Society. We should come to Ramakrishna Vedanta Center or any other center of this, having such type of principle or having such type of thoughts. So once again, I thank Swamiji to create such a wonderful place here so that a number of people are getting blessed from this thing. And it is not one thing. I said a galaxy of monks. It reminds me of Partha Maharaj, who is a very FT actually. He was the instrumental in getting Swami Vivekananda's ancestral house for us. Today, if anyone go, you see beautifully Swami Vivekananda's ancestral house in Calcutta. But that was because after Swami Vivekananda's passing away and mother's passing away, 2 sisters went and 2 brothers, they were revolutionaries and they never married. And directly there were those families. Slowly, 30 people, 30 families were living. So the one big house of probably 0.5 hectare, such a big house because they were aristocratic family, that was sizzled out into 30 families or 30 houses. You can imagine for the devotees of Swami Vivekananda or for the admirers of Vivekananda's house, how important. Even for mission also it was important. In 2000 when they thought to take it, but it was not an easy case. The Ramakrishna mission or the devotees, they were ready to pay thousands of rupees for the people who were staying because they wanted the house back. Some of them said yes. Some of them said no. Why? Double, triple, 4 times price they demanded. Belur Math they try to pursue and devotees they try to pursue. Somehow they come. And some of them, whatever it may be, this is very nice, we will not go. But then this Partha Maharaj was made in charge. Every day he used to go, literally beg, literally ask, talk, and sometimes talk little, maybe harshly and all. Slowly they were trying to take one by one house. So the Partha Maharaj, the Swami he narrated this incident with us. Like, we used to go to Belur Math, from Belur Math every day to the house place because there was no place to reside. So every day before going, I used to say that whenever I do salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, maybe Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, this day may be the last day, or this pranam may be the last pranam for you. Why? Because I was not sure this evening I will come back to Belur Math. Why? Because there were so many threat calls for him that if you don't stop this, we are going to murder. We are going to kill you. And many times himself said that, so one by one, we are trying to occupy and all, we are standing and breaking the walls and all. So many times, knowingly, unknowingly, Sri Ramakrishna saved me. Why? Because the moment I kept 4 steps and a huge block or a huge stone was fallen next to me, beside me, and that was made because the people, the vendors, they didn't want to leave the house. That's why they tried to kill him number of times. But Sri Ramakrishna's grace, he was not. And many times he had a call, and some of the police help. Sometimes they had so threatening calls and all. So Maharaj was telling that every time like this, every day when I was going from Belur Math to the center, I used to tell that probably this may be the last pranam. But Sri Ramakrishna's grace, nothing happened. Fine, everything happened in 2004. It was renovated and it was, released and it was inaugurated and all. So in the mission, everyone thought, because he worked hard for a couple of years, 3-4 years, and even he never cared for his life was at stake, he will be made the secretary or he will be made with the president of the pontiff, of that Swami Vivekananda's ancestral house. Function was over. In a week, there was some other monk's name was announced by the trustees or by the Belur Math that XYZ, a monk will be the in charge of that center. Many people said, is it not inhuman? A monk who dedicated his life for this and 4-5 years, he never cared for his life, and he took the Ramakrishna Vivekananda's ancestral house, and he was not made the pontiff or the in charge of that center. Instead, he was transferred to somewhere else. And he said, I don't mind. I came here to serve the Sri Ramakrishna. My job is over. The authorities have said me to go to in the Jadgram, that's in the Jharkhand, the end there, Hatiganj he has been, and he has built one more ashrama. He has created one more miracle now for the tribal people he has created. So when he was asked, Maharaj, then what did you feel when you heard that he was posted to Jharkhand and you were not made the pontiff of this? See, I don't have any demand. Why? Because I'm the servant of Sri Ramakrishna, or I'm the child of Sri Ramakrishna. I've come here to serve Sri Ramakrishna. I've come here to serve the noble cause. So whatever the seniors said, whatever my guru said, or whatever the seniors said, whatever the President Maharaj said, and we will listen in that shop. And for example, one more incident, it reminds me, Swami Shivamananji Maharaj, who was the vice president and previously he passed away. He was one principal in Narayanpur. Whoever knows Narayanpur, India, he knows that it is fully with Naxalites. In Narayanpur is also in the Chhattisgarh Naxalites problem. So in the Naxalites problem, we are running the center. Many times we get a threatening calls. They come, they show the knife. Even today also, they show the pistol. They grab some money, they take some food and all. Naxalites, even today also, they do, but still monks, they are continuing. They go to the very interior places. They bring the tribal children. Their names will not be there. Their birth certificates will not be there. Everything they do, and they give the education. And afterwards, the 10th passing out, then they get jobs. They make sure that they will get jobs and they will become the regular members of the society. Even today also we get a lot of threatening calls, but still mission monks, they are continuing their service. And once it happened, this Swami Shivamananji was the principal of the center. And these Naxalites came because they wanted money. This happened 30, 40 years before probably. One or two boys were taken away. This Maharaj immediately, he wanted to go inside the forest. Then police said, no, Swami, please don't go. They may kill you. They may shoot you. He said, never mind. I'm a monk. I don't bother for all these things. I'm not fear of death. I don't have fear of death. I will go. And he went inside. And the Naxalites were astonished to see. They asked, Swami, why did you come? Probably, didn't you know that we will shoot you? He said, yes, maybe, probably. Then why didn't you come? Why did you do foolish thing? No, because these children were sent by their parents, believing in me. That Swami has asked that we will take care of your children. So saying that the parents had sent, though the tribal people, believing in me, the children were sent. So it is my responsibility to take care of them. If you want to kill them, before killing them, you have to shoot me or you have to kill them. Then only you can. For Naxalites, it was a tremendous shock or a terrible shock. There was, they have not seen a person in their life like this. Someone, for someone's sake, they are ready to sacrifice their own lives. They are ready to give their own lives. Then the Naxalites were, astonishing. We have never seen, probably you are a madcap or whatever. They said, you say whatever you want. Either you leave the children or otherwise I am not going to. Then the Naxalite, with the Guru Maharaj's grace, probably, Sri Ramakrishna's grace, Naxalites released the two children. The two children were brought back to the school and again it was taken care. Like that, again, Northeast, if you go, Almora, Arunachal Pradesh, so many incidents we have got in our Ramakrishna mission, that so many monks we have got threatening calls, life threat calls and all still, but we continued service and we are continuing service. So this Éire Vedanta Society is also belongs to, is a branch of that Ramakrishna Math mission where the galaxy of saints have come and gone. So that slowly now we are increasing our activities. So as Swami said that, I request again all the more devotees to come more and more regularly, not only at the events, when any day at Saturday, Sunday, or any other day, whenever is possible, to come more and more in person, and you try to inform your relatives, friends, and so that you can bring more and more people. We shall have more and more events. By that, it is, of course, we have got a lot of work, no doubt, and as well as you will also have a lot of work. But by this, both of us will be blessed by serving the noble cause. So thanks for giving this wonderful opportunity and patient hearing for devotees and for Maharaj.
So I call upon Rairi to give a vote of thanks.
I think we all already have heard lots today. And as I sit here or I'm observing today's ceremony the whole day, I'm constantly being reminded of 4 years ago when we started the center, opening here. We heard Swami Bodhiswaranandaji today morning. He was one of the Swamijis who came and inaugurated the center. I look at it at that time and then I look at the center today. And as Swamiji said, it definitely has grown by leaps and bounds, and may we all be blessed that it grows even stronger and bigger. So I would definitely start the vote of thanks by thanking the Almighty that we are all in this place, blessed, and maybe continue to be blessed. Having said that, specifically for today's function, there are innumerable number of people, as always is the case for any events, to thank. So I would probably start off chronologically going by today's events, starting off with Brian's beautiful singing. It started off the tone of today's function. We had Swami Bodhiswaranandaji sharing, giving his time to us, sharing his thoughts, and how beautifully he elucidated in that short time Swami Vivekananda's teachings, Sister Nivedita's, and integrated it all together so wonderfully. So all my gratitude and thank you to Swami Bodhiswaranandaji, and our little children of John Scottus and Balgokulam group. Amazing, just completely charmed by their mastery and grasp, and most importantly, their enthusiasm. I think you would all agree, I can say for myself, I couldn't chant the way they did. And it's just hats off to them. I think they definitely deserve an applause here, although they've all gone home now. To the parents, absolutely, to the parents as well, definitely. And also, I would say the Ramayana quiz was hilarious and enjoyable and entertaining. And I definitely would give a special thanks again to the children who joined in, made it even more entertaining and enjoyable, the audience who participated. So thank you all. You are here, so give a clap to yourselves. Swami Purnanandaji, I really feel sometimes thank you is not adequate enough word to thank you for all that you've been doing and continue. So yes, definitely we are blessed that we have both Swamijis here, Swami Purnanandaji, Swami Shantikatanandaji, for sharing your journeys with us today so beautifully, so poignantly. And again, thanks to the Almighty that may you be with us and we get your blessings and we learn from you both. Thank you. And then, of course, millions of people behind the scene here. I would be remiss if I did not thank Sharanya, Vardhini, our wonderful MC, Malavika, who's been silently working away behind the scenes. Everybody here, I mean, Surya, Aunt Mashi, you took us down memory lane with that absolute wonderful narration that honestly, as you were narrating, I was reflecting on how the years we have traversed. So yes, I definitely feel we are truly blessed, and may we all be blessed being together. All of you come together, the more the merrier. It's always true. So I would request you all to join us for the Vesper service now, small, short Vesper service, and then the fun begins really. You get to eat. Thank you.
Shiva,
Did you notice? This ends today's program. Then of course the main program is waiting. Supper prasad will move to the thing. Vivekananda.
Okay, EBS about this song.
जन्मदिनमिदं अयि प्रिय सखे जन्मदिनमिदं अयि प्रिय सखे शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी प्रार्थयामहे भवशतायुषी ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु ईश्वर सदा त्वां च रक्षतु पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जया पुण्यकर्मणा कीर्तिमर्जया जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम् जीवनं तव भवतु सार्थकम् जन्मदिनमिदम् अयि प्रिय सखे शन्तनोतु ते सर्वदा मुदम् शन्तनोतु